welcome everybody, and it's great to be here at this event. My name is Dr. Samantha Horseman, and I have the greatest opportunity yet again to moderate this great session of Ritaj Al-Hazmi going for the attempt of the Guinness World Record entitled Youngest Newspaper Columnist Female. The application reference number is 230-222-133-331-YNC. Now, as I mentioned, I've had the opportunity to moderate this great session before, and this is Ritaj's new attempt for another Guinness World Record. And Ritaj started her writing career at the age of 8, and by age 10, she published her first book in 2019. She has completed 4 books: Treasure of the Lost Sea, Portal of the Hidden World, Beyond the Future World, and The Passage into the Unknown. She's also published several articles on various topics, including culture, climate change, and digital world's future. Very accomplished. After completing numerous intensive programs in fiction writing, Ritaj was also able to deliver a training program for young writers, which you'll hear more about later on in the session this evening, to teach fiction writing using the Save the Cat method. She's also been a speaker. She was also awarded a scholarship by the Ministry of Culture to the United States to improve her writing skills and to enrich her knowledge in the area of creative writing. She's working on a new project, which you'll again hear a lot more about in the session later on when Ritaj takes the stage. And it's just incredible, and we feel very, very honored to be part of seeing her success, because Ritaj didn't stop at becoming the youngest series writer in the world. Her curiosity continued to develop to reach her full potential, and this has only challenged herself more and more to reach higher goals, and this is why we're here today. In February in this year, Ritaj actually started writing in Arab News about Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030, and this really allowed her to expand her further knowledge in the field. As I mentioned, we're very honored to be here to witness this great event, and I'm also honored to introduce 2 of our very accomplished witnesses for this Guinness World Record attempt. First, I'd like to introduce Dr. Najjar Al-Otaibi. She is a researcher and also a journalist. Dr. Najjar is a Saudi researcher, and she also has a specialist in international relations and diplomacy, with a particular focus on Saudi Arabia and also the Gulf region. She has also worked for a number of think tanks in the UK and also the US, such as the Tony Blair Institute for Global Change, the Henry Jackson Society, and the Arabia Foundation in Washington, D.C. Dr. Najjar's publication has a focus on gender and politics, and also security, counterterrorism, public diplomacy, and also soft power. She's a frequent commentator on international media, such as BBC, CNN, Channel 5, and has written for international press, including the Times of London. Her qualifications include a PhD in politics, where her thesis examined roles of public diplomacy, and also has a large repertoire of sample publications. So welcome, Dr. Najjar. The next witness I had the opportunity to actually introduce is Salman Al-Ansari. Salman is a political researcher and also a journalist. Salman is also a well-known Saudi political researcher in relation to Western media, as also an independent researcher who speaks about Saudi and Middle Eastern affairs. Again, a very accomplished author, in relation to opinion articles across various different American newspapers, such as The Hill, Washington Times, and HuffPost. He's also a permanent guest on BBC World, CNN, France 24, and other channels. He has several political comments in New York, Wall Street Journal, Reuters, Bloomberg, etc., many in that repertoire. He's also been a candidate on several occasions to speak about Middle Eastern issues at the European Parliament in Brussels. He's also taken part in various debates. He's published 4 research papers through Harvard University, and also is the founding president of the Margin Scope Productions in Washington, D.C. He's also appointed as manager of the business development at Thomson Reuters Corporation, and he's also been selected twice to be a speaker with former Saudi intelligence chief. He works at bringing cultures closer between Saudi and American people, and this is due to his work in artistic, culture, and voluntary exhibitions, and several different seminars. So an amazing opportunity to introduce Salman and also Dr. Najjar as our witnesses for this event. And I'd like to now hand the floor over to Ritaj as she takes us through her journey, her very impressive journey. Over to you, Ritaj.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining me today to attempt the Guinness World Record for the title Youngest Newspaper Columnist. It's such an honor to be here, and I would first like to thank the witnessers for joining us today and our moderator, Dr. Samantha. And it's such an amazing thing to be here back again, once again, attempting this record. And looking back at it 6 years ago, I would have never really thought that the skill I used to develop as a habit would one day become a vital key to accomplishing amazing achievements that would be recognized by the world. Now, for the past several years, I've been mainly known for being a series writer that has focused on inspiring kids my age to believe that no matter how young you are, that shouldn't limit what you believe you can achieve. And I've said this many times before, and I'll say it again, that no one should set the limit for what you think and what you know you can accomplish. To my luck, since my family discovered my love for reading, they made sure to provide an environment that was supportive in order for me to flourish. And here you can see that it was as long as in July 2017 that I started to compete in and participate in courses and summer reading programs, such as this one in Bahrain. And it's such an amazing opportunity that I will always be grateful for. And, you know, all of that was just the start of my ongoing journey. So within the past 7 years of studying this craft, I've come to realize just how much writing means to me. And although it may have started as a hobby, then a developing skill, now, being a writer is one of the most important things that I introduce myself as. So allow me to walk you through that journey and hope that you'll also be able to feel the same excitement as I have. Between 2017 and 2019 was probably one of the most important times of my life. The spark that I had that encouraged me to take things like fiction courses, write my first novel in the span of a year, and rewrite the whole story from scratch for another year. That eventually led me to publish my first book in March 2019. And I must admit that took a lot of trial and error to trying to get it right. And patience, of course, was definitely important throughout every step of the creative process. But at the end, I managed to achieve that big dream of mine. And in that same month, although being quite new to the writing world, I was able to have the chance to be interviewed with two of the most famous Arab authors, uh, being, my first time on television, the rush of excitement that I felt as I lived through the experience was incredible. Now, from that point on, I was able to publish two more books in the Treasure of Lost Sea series, one in 2020 and one in 2021. And at that time, I was able to notice significant growth. And until I was sure I was capable of it, I went on to the next big step. This was launching my first ever writing program, where I guided the participants through the steps of how to write your first book. And that's when I realized that I was right. There was a lot of potential in children my age, and with just a bit of practice, you could already say that they were beyond anyone's expectations. Now, later that year, I was invited as a guest speaker at ITHRA to inspire children with I'd like to say that it's the language they like most, which is imagination. And it was quite the wonderful experience to sit there sharing my thoughts while listening to the children's own. Each one of them just had their own story to tell. And that's when you realize inspiration is such a great thing when you see the huge positive effect it has on kids.
Found a lot of crazy mistakes in my book, especially for the structure, because I didn't take any lessons, any courses, but all of that changed, and I faced my obstacle when I took more courses from. In 2018, after finishing the whole story and after going through many challenges to start writing the story, start finding ideas to write the book about, trying to make my story something inspiring and not something just any writer could write. So I was very fortunate to have my parents take me to the library, and that was quite an amazing thing that I did. There's a really deep side to everything, and that's pretty amazing because if we just stay on the general side, you won't have as much fun and it wouldn't be much of a challenge. This very surprising tweet from Prince Badr bin Farhan. I was very excited, very inspired to continue what I was doing.
In 2021, I was finally able to break the 20-year-old Guinness World Record as the youngest series writer, an achievement that made me wonder, what if I could do better? One day, I was quite shocked to see Prince Badr bin Farhan respond to my achievement. So not long after the tweet, I was offered a scholarship to the United States for a creative writing program by the Ministry of Culture. And looking back at it, that program allowed me for the first time to go beyond writing novels, helping me discover a whole new world of blogs and articles. Although I wrote my first blog in 2020, I found myself coming back to them in 2021. After the creative writing program pushed me out of my comfort zone, which sounds quite uncomfortable, but was more like a path to a new beginning, I was able to see a new side or a new path and perspective of writing. In 2022, I continued with my activities as a novelist by delivering programs to more young people.
As a writer myself, I feel like there are a lot more deeper things that writing, enhances in, multiple fields. And I feel like writing is such a vast world with a lot to learn about, and there are a lot of things that can come handy if you learn writing. And I feel like most beginners think that they have to write a first good draft to make it to the next level and to get it, to get their book where they want it to be. But it's not the case most of the times. Most of the times, you really need to take that step and get out of your comfort zone to do something that's not really the best you think you can do. And what you really need to do here is you need to write the worst thing. You're going to strive for the worst thing that you can do to later on make it to the best thing you could ever write. What is the link between creativity and writing? You see, creativity is a tool that allows you to think of new ideas and give you the chance to imagine further, while writing is one of the greatest tools discovered by humans as a form of communication. And the link between these two is very obvious and clear. If you have creativity, you have ideas, you have things that you want to share to the world, the tool that you're going to use is writing. And that's how writing and creativity influence each other.
So at the end of 2022, a year filled with amazing accomplishments, I strived for a new challenge, an opening to a new chapter that always intrigued me. I decided to address that curiosity by taking on that challenge. I wanted to see how far I could go, not just in anything, but as a columnist. In the beginning of 2023, I contacted Out of News to talk about something that's been on my mind. I wanted to become a newspaper columnist. So after proving how far I've come and what I was capable of, I was able to publish my first article with a focus on Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 and showcasing the new generation's potential. And here you can see a QR code if you want to go through the articles I wrote while I present a brief of each article. Okay. So this is my first article titled Envisioning a Greater Saudi Future. This was the start for me as a young columnist. So I had to think about what topic I would write about. And the more I thought, I came to a decision that the main objective of writing the articles I write today was to showcase the new generation's potential and encourage them to participate and contribute in their local communities. So this is an article that explores the vision of a modern and prosperous future, and it talks about how the kingdom is providing programs for the younger generation and what they're doing to encourage the next leaders of the kingdom to strive for a better future for the kingdom and also for themselves. So envisioning a greater Saudi future is an inspiring and thought-provoking article that sheds light on the potential of Saudi Arabia as a global leader in innovation, technology, and also social progress. In the article, Greening KSA Will Help Us Face Environmental Challenges, I talked about the importance of environmental sustainability in Saudi Arabia and how it can help overcome various ecological challenges. I mainly highlight the impact of climate change on the world and the urgent need to take action to prevent its effects. The article concentrates about the initiatives taken by Saudi Arabia, such as the Saudi Green Initiative and Middle East Green Initiative, and how they align with global efforts to combat climate change. I also stress on the role of individuals in contributing towards a sustainable future and encourage the readers to adopt an environmentally friendly practice in their daily lives. Overall, the article advocates for a greener and more sustainable future, not only for Saudi Arabia, but also for the entire world. Saudi's shift towards sustainable energy is an article in which I discuss the transformation towards renewable energy in Saudi Arabia. And it's pretty similar to the one before, but here I focus more on the country's efforts to diversify its energy sources and reduce reliance on fossil fuels. I also talk about the role of the private sector in driving this shift towards sustainable energy and this will also, help in creating new job opportunities and boost the economic growth. Additionally, the article touches on the challenges that need to be addressed in order to achieve a successful transition towards clean energy, such as policy frameworks and infrastructure development. And it really just emphasizes the importance of investing in sustainable energy and how it can benefit both the environment and the economy in Saudi Arabia. In another article, I highlight the country's efforts to provide opportunities and support its young population. The article goes through the various initiatives and programs launched by the government under its Vision 2030 plan to promote entrepreneurship, innovation, and education among the youth. It also emphasizes the importance of empowering young people to contribute to the country's development and achieve their full potential. So it really sheds light on Saudi Arabia's commitment to investing in its youth and building a brighter future for the country. This is one of my favorite articles I've written, as it discusses the project of the Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the Line. It involves the construction of a futuristic, sustainable megacity that will run entirely on renewable energy. So now the article emphasizes the key features of the project, including its focus on sustainability and advanced technology, as well as the potential benefits it could bring to the region. And it also touches on the challenges and criticisms that the project has faced, including concerns about its impact on the environment. And it provides an informative and balanced overview of this ambitious project and its potential impact on Saudi Arabia and the wider region. Saudi Arabia's next chapter, the space mission, went through the country's progress in the space sector. And as you may know, this year we have reached yet another of our biggest ambitions, which is exploring space. This was one of the most anticipated targets for many years, and now we have seen the light of such achievements with the establishment of the Saudi Space Commission in 2018. And while in space, the team conducted experiments on human adaptation to new environments. This included more experiments on cloud seeding, something that the kingdom has worked on for a long time as part of the Saudi Green Initiative and Middle East Green Initiative. And I ended this article by adding a few words of encouragement. I believe that this new chapter could reveal more of the youth's potential, and I encourage them to go even beyond their own expectations. The article titled Saudi Made Promoting Local Manufacturing in the Kingdom highlights the significance of promoting local manufacturing in Saudi Arabia. So the article discusses the country's Vision 2030 plan, which aims to diversify the economy and reduce its reliance on oil exports. It focuses on local manufacturing and achieving these goals, and it also sheds light on the initiatives taken by the kingdom to promote local manufacturing, such as offering incentives to investors, creating industrial clusters, and supporting small and medium-sized enterprises. It features interviews with key stakeholders in the manufacturing sector in Saudi Arabia who share their insights and experiences. The article ends by emphasizing the importance of promoting local manufacturing in the kingdom to achieve a more, I would say, diversified economy. Driving toward cultural preservation is also one of the top favorites for me. It's an insightful article that highlights the importance of preserving cultural heritage while driving towards modernization. It emphasizes the need for a balanced approach that promotes economic development and while also protecting the unique traditions of a local society, especially in Saudi Arabia. It also showcases some of the initiatives taken by various organizations in the Middle East to preserve cultural heritage and restoration of historical sites. So in the end, in this article, I stress the importance of collective efforts to preserve cultural heritage, as it is an essential part of a nation's identity and history. Aligned with the recent announcement of Saudi Arabia hosting the World Expo 2030, the article dives deep into the ambitious and visionary projects of Riyadh Expo 2030. The event aims to symbolize Saudi Arabia's commitment to progress, innovation, and showcasing the country's rich heritage while demonstrating its commitment to uniting the world's cultures in one place. The article highlights a lot of stuff, including our shift towards sustainability and our determination to make a better future for the citizens of Saudi Arabia and the world. And we could also mark the Riyadh Expo 2030 as a celebration of human potential and technological marvels. Here's the latest article that I published in Arab News. It's titled Saudi Arabia's Vision 2030 at a Glance. It goes through Saudi Arabia's initiatives and programs that are essential for the country's advancement to highlight the progress of the kingdom's vision. First, I talk about Vision 2030 as a blueprint for economic transformation, as well as a profound shift toward a more diversified and sustainable economy. I also write about Saudi Arabia's financial commitment exceeding exceeding $500 billion, and also briefly summarizing what Vision 2030 focuses on. As an aligned companion to Vision 2030, the National Transformation Program, or NTP for short, is a dynamic force propelling Saudi Arabia toward a future characterized by economic vitality, social well-being, and global competitiveness. In the article, I introduce the NTP as the path toward the change, which focuses on driving improvement across the economic and social spectrums. Last but not least, the Quality of Life program is a cornerstone in the broader vision of elevating the overall standard of living in Saudi Arabia. And the program really reflects a forward-looking vision that recognizes the connection between citizens' happiness and the nation's overall prosperity. And we do this by addressing cultural, infrastructural, and recreational dimensions. This initiative represents an integrated effort to ensure that Saudi Arabia remains a place where its people can thrive and enjoy a high quality of life. Now that I've finished going through, briefly going through all of the articles, now let's get into the Guinness World Record guidelines and requirements within witnesses. I will be going through the record definition and the rule for this record, while the witnesses fill out the statement forms that we have sent to them. Please stop me at any point if you have any questions.